Today, I wanted to tell you about the top crypto margin trading platform, and it's actually very, very new. It's something that I think is really going to make like leverage and margin trading a little bit more digestible for people who are trying to learn. Now, of course, this does still mean you have risk of loss, and margin trading can be very, very risky. So don't go too crazy with it. But I do think it, at least in my opinion, has helped it make it a little bit more digestible, and it's a good kind of like entry point to getting into to kind of testing out and trying leverage trading if you want to. Again, full disclaimer, it is risky. You can lose money, all of that type of stuff. But if you are looking to learn and are looking to maybe spend a small amount trying to figure it out, this could be a good option for you. So let's talk today about CoinFutures, and we can discuss kind of how it works, what it's about, all the cool different things going on in here. So first off, we can see here you can trade up to 1,000x leverage. Now, again, I would strongly discourage, especially if you were trying to learn, would strongly discourage you using this much leverage. I basically have never done above 100x before, and even then, that's like when I want to be a little gambly. Normally, if I'm looking to make a real trade, the max I will ever do is 20x, and even still, that's like a lot. So just be very, very careful there. You can see it's no KYC or exchange accounts, so it's very easy to get signed up for. You don't have to KYC or do anything like that, and you can also cash out at any time. But the thing that's really cool about CoinFutures, and that this is their app, they essentially call it Coin Poker. They're trying to simplify it a little bit, but you can see it's very, very simple. Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? And then you can essentially wager how much you think it's going to go up or down, and then you can add a multiplier onto that. Now, the thing that's nice here is you can see that on the app it shows a bust price, so it is fairly clear when you would actually kind of like lose your money, at like what price point, right? Now, again, if you're not familiar with leverage trading, when you trade on leverage, it essentially just gives you a smaller buffer to the downside before you get liquidated and they take all your money. So what you can see here is you can start with 1x lower, which is like the lowest risk, and it makes it, almost impossible to lose your money because you're not trading on any leverage. And then you can go all the way up to 1,000x, which is like, I think it's if price goes down 0.1%, then you get liquidated. So almost guaranteed to get liquidated if you do something like that. So I would strongly discourage doing that unless you have some sort of maybe high frequency trading algorithm or something that maybe can take advantage of it. But personally would not recommend that. Here what we can see though is, once you set those couple of different things, you can place your bet. And it also, I believe, will let you, if you go into the somewhere in here, will let you essentially predict what price it's going to. And then of course will automatically cash you out if it hits that price. But if you want to cash out before it hits that price, then they have the cash out button, and you can essentially take the gains that you've made up until that point and move on to the next trade or cash out or do whatever you want. So it's very, very simple. They have the register now button kind of front and center here if you are looking to get signed up and try it out. Pretty cool platform. You also can see here they've got kind of the process. They also essentially allow you to use collateral in both Bitcoin and Ethereum in addition to USDT, which I think is really cool. So this essentially allows you to kind of give an extra layer of leverage. Let's say you really like to stack Bitcoin. You don't have to hold your funds in USDT. You could hold all your funds in Bitcoin and then kind of trying to increase your stack of Bitcoin through trading if that is something that you're interested in. And I think it's a really cool way to do it. I personally think this is awesome. I love holding in more of like the crypto-based collateral, primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum instead of USDT. So I think that is really cool. And you can also see, they go through kind of a quick process of how to trade. You choose your currency. You predict whether the price is going up or down. You pick a price multiplier, and then you place your prediction and cash out whenever you kind of want to. So pretty simple, very easy process, a ton of different payment methods as well, both kind of like Web 2 and Web 3 if you're interested in that. And then you can also compete in the crypto futures leaderboards, and you can see kind of how other people are doing, what they've made money on, what works for some and what works for others, things like that. It's a really, really cool process here. And then you also can see here there's FAQs. If you have anything where you're like trying to figure out various questions that you may not totally understand, they do have a pretty like expansive FAQ section down here if you are looking to check it out. So like I said, a pretty interesting thing. I think they've really simplified the leverage trading process fairly substantially. I think in a pretty positive way. They're trying to kind of make it more akin to like a poker or sports betting type situation rather than like all the different options with leverage trading. I do think it could be a good place to start, and it might even be good for people who are a little bit more experienced just because it's so much easier to open and close positions if you are looking to do kind of like super short-term scalp trading. So again, it's all up to you. You can check out the link in the description below if you are interested and want to get it checked out or want to, take a look and see if it could be something you're interested in. That link is in the description below and you can check it out. Anyway, hopefully you found the information in this video useful. If you did, of course, a like and a subscribe does help. And then if you have any comments, questions, anything like that, just drop those in the comment section as well. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.